What happened in this chamber last night was a disgrace. It was an outrage. Under Rule 191, the EFDD group requested a vote to suspend the sitting, and that vote, under the rules, should have been taken immediately. Instead, the Vice President took it upon herself to suspend the sitting for 30 minutes so all you guys could come down and vote. Now, this highlights one of the reasons why many people perceive this place to be a Mickey Mouse chamber. You either have a rule book or you don't. You either stick by it or you rip it up, and then we make it up as we go along, just as happened last night. As a result, we will be writing to President Schulz to clarify that the rule book is applied evenly across this House and that we are not discriminated against like we were last night simply for being Eurosceptics. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Nuttall, the sitting was suspended because of the disorder in the chamber, according to Rule 22, and maybe you know something about that since you were here last evening. I'm sure you can understand that.
Yes, you have a point of order? Yes.
Procedural point under Article 191. Earlier today, my colleague Stephen Wolfe stood up to request the closure of the sitting for the rest of the plenary in protest at the disgraceful way in which things were done to close down debate here. We do believe that something should be done, but we would now like to propose a compromise motion on behalf of the EFDD group. So we would like to propose that the sitting now be suspended for the rest of the day, closed for the rest of the day, simply to give us time to reflect on the undemocratic way that things have been done.
Thank you very much, sir, for your contribution. Now, the sitting today was already suspended once today, so I'm afraid I can't follow up your request, but we have taken due note of it and we will convey it. And now I call interruption. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, honourable member. If 40 members of the House were to stand up and were to ask for the suspension of the sitting, but I don't think that that is actually the case right now. This would have to happen before the debate. But please, go ahead, sir.
Just a moment, please.
No, the rule is for one political group, in any case.
Yeah. The rule states the sitting may be suspended or closed during a debate or vote, Madam President, if Parliament so decides on a proposal from the President or at the request of a political group, or at least 40 members. Such a proposal shall be put to the vote immediately. That was done at 12 o'clock today. It has not been done now. Please do it now.
Thank you very much to the honourable member. Once again, we are referring to the same rule. I would like to see whether 40 members of the House support this motion.
I'm sorry, it's a political group. It's a political group, not all 40.
Yes? Really?
Or not and, Madam President. Or. Political group or, not and, or.
Well, I think you can see the same thing as I can, namely that there aren't 40 members. The President is not requesting it, the President... Please calm down. Please let me finish my sentence. I hadn't finished my sentence. I would ask the honourable member to please allow me to finish my sentence. I hope you're not going to interrupt me. I wish to finish my sentence. If on behalf of a political group this is being requested, you have to say so. On behalf of which political group in that case? And who is going to make the request? On behalf of a political group. Now you have the floor, sir.
I said that in my original speech. I make the request on behalf of the FDD. I am repeating myself now. You are required to put this to the vote immediately, Madam President. You are now playing for time.
Önök azt hiszik, hogy...
So, you think that if you're noisy, your request will be acceded to, you know, with no one speaking in favour, no one speaking against? Yes, sure, time is moving on, planes might be departing, but please be patient. Who would like to speak on this motion?
Yes, you have...
You have the floor.
Señora Presidenta, esto es una falta de respeto.
President, this shows lack of respect for the House. If these colleagues are not interested in the situation in Burundi, all they need to do is leave the chamber.
A kérdésem az...
So, my question was, would anyone like to speak against the request to suspend the sitting? Would anyone like to speak in favour of the request to suspend the sitting? You still have time. After all, we have time for a democratic debate. I mean, do you still want to carry on shouting, or do we want a democratic debate? I will give the floor to the other person requesting it.
Akkor lesz a...
Honourable Member, there will be a vote when I open the vote. When I've opened the vote, we will take the vote. So would anybody like to speak against? Would anybody like to speak in favour? Is this against or in favour? Yes, please, go ahead.
Legyenek türelmes.
Please be patient. A lot more patient than hitherto, please. Because the honourable member, the lady, is right. You are not showing respect towards this House, and yet I would ask you, please, to show respect. Honourable Member, I would request you to stop shouting, to restrain yourself, and to behave in a way that is dignified in accordance with the spirit of this House. Thank you, Honourable Member. Obviously, you are speaking so loud that I can hear you without a microphone even, as things stand.
You have the floor.
Okay.
De teljesen nem ez a kérdés.
Are you running the show now? You're giving me the floor? No, I can understand that you need to utilize every opportunity to draw the attention to you. I mean, this is, you're telling to the Madam Chair that she's a disgrace. I must say that I've expected a lot from this group, but I mean what you are performing here today is really a disgrace. What is happening today in Burundi, you don't have 10 minutes to wait. Absolutely disgrace, I mean.
Yes.
And if you want to reflect on undemocratic behavior, leave and reflect. I mean, please leave and reflect for ages. That would be the best message. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the Honourable Member for his contribution. Thank you, says the President.
Chairman, I heard the gentleman tell me shut up. I mean, I would expect that that would be taken note of. Yeah? Thank you.
The honourable members are so loud, they are so noisy that I didn't hear that particular comment, but we have taken due note. I call you, Madam, now. Thank you. You have the floor, Madam.
Grazie. Queste sono le modalità.
Thank you. These are the rules that the European Parliament operates. These are rules which the House subscribes to. This morning we deferred a very important debate which was extremely important to all our citizens and to the American citizens too. You are supposed to apply the rules. The House has adopted them. The rules say one person speaks in favour, one person speaks against. We have heard more than that. Therefore, I would request you, President, please to put this matter to the vote now.
Thank you very much to the Honourable Member. Honourable colleagues, there is now going to be a vote. There is going to be a vote. I would like to suspend the sitting for half an hour. So the vote is not now, but in half an hour's time, I suspend the sitting for half an hour.
And calls me among fascists. I think that is sort of well beyond. So I'm sorry to say that I don't know all the gentlemen by name, but 214, I would expect an apology because myself and you and others were considered to be fascists. Thank you.
Ms. Begin? Ms. Begin, you have the floor.
Mi dispiace per l'offesa che ha ricevuto.
I apologise for the offence that was committed against you. We have been called fascists and received the same offensive comments on many occasions. We were told before that our behaviour was shocking. It was a disgrace. Well, I don't know if you would deem that to be an offence. I would like to invoke the rules, please, President. Rule 191 says that if the rules are suspended at the request of a political group, then the vote has to be held immediately. Therefore, it should not be after a suspension for 30 minutes. But this is not relevant to this point, because the point was not that we wanted to suspend the session, particularly when the discussion was on something as important as Burundi. We are obviously convinced that Burundi is exceptionally important as a matter of principle. But the point is, please listen to me. This is such an important point that it is important that we invoke the rules only in an appropriate way.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. I would like to inform members that this is indeed what happened. It was Rule 191. Is there another point of order, Madam? The Honourable Gentleman has a point of order, is that right? A point of order, yes, please go ahead. Mr. Sebastián.
Señora Presidenta, le voy a hacer
Madam President, I have a specific question, and I attach a lot of importance to this point of order, although it's not on the same subject. I think that Mrs. Aiuto has her baby here with her in the chamber. Mr. Schulz prevented me from bringing in my 8-month-old. Could I ask why I wasn't allowed to bring my baby in, and she is?
Mégiscsak folytatnánk.
I suggest we continue with the sitting. Rule 191. On the basis of Rule 191, the EFDD group requested that the sitting be suspended. Would you like to maintain your request? I turn to the EFDD. Would you like to maintain that request to suspend? If so, we shall put that to the vote. So, the members who asked for the suspension of the sitting, those who would like to vote in favour of that. Mr. Wolf, did you have a point?
No.
Madam. Okay. You don't want the vote to happen? Okay. Madam, can you hear me, Madam Chairman? My microphone doesn't seem to be working. I'm not sure whether it is. Can you hear me? Okay. Do you wish to hear what I want to say or not? Do you wish to hear what I want to say? Okay. Madam, I can stand here until I know that you can hear me, because you've asked me a question and I want to reply. Madam, as you requested under Rule 191, you are quite right. We made that request in this chamber when it was empty. I hope everybody enjoyed their drinks rushing down to get here with the emails and Twitters that you had. As part of that rule, a rule that is set down to Sir, do you wish to speak for me? I'm quite happy to stop speaking whilst I'm being interrupted by you.
Honourable Member, please continue. The President says the Honourable Member should continue with his intervention.
So, Madam Chairman, we expressed the rule to you absolutely clearly. And, for the sake of clarity for the members in this chamber, it did actually say that on the rule, a sitting may be suspended or closed during a debate. We were during a debate. If the Parliament so decides on a proposal from the President or a request from the political group, we made a request from the political group. Such a proposal or a request shall be put to the vote immediately. We asked for the vote to be put immediately. The vote was suspended for 30 minutes. As a consequence of that, our group as a whole now are going away to consider for the next couple of hours whether we feel that we should come back and present this motion once again to you. We are considering the legal implications of it. We are going to regard whether there has been a breach of these rules,
So I'm just letting you know, ladies and gentlemen, that we may be back sometime later around 9 o'clock. So I'm just letting you know that we may well be back. So, Madam Chairman, we're taking legal advice. We will do so under the rules that this House has set down for this chamber. So at this moment, we will withdraw it until we consider the process at 9 o'clock tonight.
Köszönöm. Köszönöm, Mr. Wolf.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wolf. Lest there be any misunderstanding, I did suspend the sitting. I did interrupt the sitting because there was a great deal of chaos, much more so than now, a lot of chaos in the chamber.
Saját hatás.
And therefore I used my prerogative and I took that decision. Madam, please. Article 22, and I would ask you please not to make phone calls in the plenary chamber. Please listen, otherwise you'll lose the thread once again. This is why we are going to vote. Those who would like to continue with the debate will vote yes. Those who would like to suspend the debate will vote no. I open the vote. The vote is open.
Mindenki követhet.
Everyone can make a mistake. I too made a mistake. I would like to refer to the circumstances and I would beg your indulgence. I didn't explain the yes and the no clearly enough. We're talking about the suspension. So we're talking about suspension or interruption. So in fact the vote is the other way around, contrary to what I indicated a moment ago. I thought you might enjoy that, madam. And I thought it might give rise to a small smile on your part. But, you know, if one makes a mistake, I think the most honourable thing to do is to admit to that mistake. So thank you.
A szavazást lezárom.
The vote is closed.
Mint látják képviselőtársaim,
The debate will continue, as you can see, honourable members. As for 9 p.m. and coming back with the same idea yet again, I will not be granting another opportunity like this.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.